Hi, welcome back to another segment of Veterans Did You Know? Dave Eling with the County Department of Veterans Affairs, and today we're out at Baker College and we're talking about everything you need to know about furthering your education and for veterans as you use your GI Bill and getting your paperwork together and getting into the college situation so that you are going to get a new career if you need one, or get some advanced education or find some new skills to make yourself marketable. And one of the things we're talking about with ladies here was the if you were in the military and you're at a particular base and you may have taken an evening course for English or math or whatever, or some of the courses you took in the military is military training at their tech schools. And so the guy said, well, you know, I've had 3 or 4 courses, but it was like a junior college here in Texas and another college when I was stationed in Germany. And so what do I do? I gather up those credits that it should be in my personnel record, my military record. I just bring them to you and say, are these any good? did I waste my time, or are they good for something? Is that what we look at? Or?
That's a really good question, and a lot of people are doing that. They're either bringing in their ARTS transcript if they're with the Army, their SMART transcript with the Navy and the Marines, or their community college of the Air Force. Those are the big 3. And what's really nice is that those credits are all approved by the American Council on Education. And we do accept those. It's just a matter of plugging them into the right things here. And also University of Maryland, University College, that's a big one. What they would want to do would be to get their transcript from their classes, and then I would be happy to look at that class by class and see what would come in. And also the transfer person too, so I'm a good person to know.
So very likely you're not going to be starting at ground zero. Some of the things you did have from your military experience are going to be transferable as far as educational credits. If you took any of those particular courses, tech schools, or anything that you went through, some of that is probably going to be, so you can be already ahead of the game. So the 4 years in the military and you know, then the drill sergeants to make you march over to school wasn't all lost. It's going to get you a foot in the door here, maybe get you started on where you want to go and stuff.
Right, and in fact, one of my veterans, he actually emailed me saying, hey Christy, I have a chance to take this class, and this class. Would any of them work? And I was happy to say, all of them will work, take them. And then bring them right back, and all I would need is an official transcript sent, and then I can put that on his record here. Another good way of getting things would be through our experiential learning. A lot of people have experiences other than classroom experience.
Life skills.
Life skills,
Exactly.
absolutely, life experiences. And we're very excited we have a class actually that will help them put together a portfolio, and they could possibly portfolio out of a class and save themselves some time and money here and use their experiences.
Well, that's pretty interesting. You know, this is a nice thought. Moms and dads or brothers and sisters, if you got a kid or a brother or sister that's in the military right now and is thinking about getting out, they got a year or 2 to go, you might want to get some information from Baker College and send it to them and have them contact back here, because they can tell them, hey, if you're on a particular base and if you take these courses while you're there, you'd be that much farther ahead when you get back. So they can actually, I know I was on the whole school board, there, we had a lot of kids in high school that were taking college level classes. Mm-hmm. And so when they graduated from high school, I mean, some almost had a associate's degree done because they were able to take those classes and incorporate with it. So moms and dads, if you don't want your kid living with you forever when they come home from the military, you might want to get some college while they're in the military and make sure you take those classes to find out if they're transferable or not. Just like you said, you give you a call or a write or an ask, and you can tell them what classes to take so that they know that when they come back home here that I've already got these 3 classes taken care of before I even got here. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good deal.
Absolutely.
Think about, so.
And another thing that they want to make sure, the veterans want to make sure that they're taking classes through a regionally accredited or a nationally accredited institution. The accreditation part is really, really important. Baker is accredited by the North Central Association of Colleges and Universities. That's just a regional accreditation society. So like the Western Accreditation Society, there's a Southern Schools,
Association of Colleges,
right, New England Schools, Mid-Atlantic, things like that. So that's the big thing, especially with transfer credits. You want to make sure you get it from an accredited institution, either nationally or preferably regionally.
I think most on-base courses at the educational, on military bases, the education is very pushed a lot while you're in the military. They really encourage you to go and get these degree stuff. So I think those are pretty well made sure that if the school is teaching on base, that they've already been checked out and that those credits are are going to be transferable someplace, whatever else. But yeah, it's a good thing to make sure that you don't take a bunch of classes and find out, wow, that was a waste of money and time because I have to do them all over again at a real school, if you like it with a better term, I guess. But yeah, that's good information, great information.
I'd like to add in there in terms of, besides accreditation, that some people get confused on this, but they don't know if Baker is a community college or a four-year college or exactly what. So if I could just clarify that Baker is a fully accredited degree-granting college with all the rights and privileges of other colleges. We are not-for-profit, which means we're not owned by anybody. We're not a proprietary school, but we are private. And really our association, if it were to be with anybody, would be with employers. And what I'd like you to understand, yes, we grant one-year certificates and two-year associate degrees, and we do have the bachelor degrees, and we have graduate school for masters and even a doctorate in business administration. The emphasis of every program we have, though, is going to be employability. That's what sets us apart from everybody, is that it's all about employability for us and helping us attain our mission of quality education and training, which results in excellent careers for our students. One of the reasons we can accomplish that would be advisory boards. And I don't know how familiar everyone is with advisory boards, but I think they really make our programs stand out. In every one of our programs, we have 140 plus programs, and we have advisory boards made up of employers in the community. And they meet with us every fall and every spring, and they evaluate the curriculum and they look at the job market. In fact, those are the folks that we go to and we say, what's out there? What do you need people trained for? What's coming? What don't you need anymore? Look at our curriculum. Is it up to snuff? Is it exactly the way you want it to hire our graduates? And we get their input, and we do this yearly so that we can stay on the mark, and we're providing them with well-trained graduates. And we have them in every one of our areas so that we can stay on the cutting edge and provide people with the skills that are really in demand. And that's why, in the end result of everything, is that our graduate assistance for placement has been 97, 98% in any given year. And that I really feel that our advisory boards give us a leg up on everybody because they keep us really focused on what's in demand, programs that are in demand, no extra classes. We don't require a lot of classes that aren't pertinent to what someone is going into, so they really get what they need in a shorter amount of time, a more direct focus, get in, get out, and get employed, and that's what people really want today, especially adults. You know, adults don't have time and money to waste on extra things. They want to get what they need and get out and get working, and we want to facilitate that the best we can in the best way, so that's who we are.
Well, that's important because you are a business, and if you're not a successful business and your product is an employable commodity, as an individual that could go to work, and if I'm a consumer out there and I want to hire somebody, and if the guy says or gal says, well, I finished at Baker College and you can't do the job, well then you're out of business.
That's right.
So that's why you have the reputation you do have, and 90%, 97% employment rate is astronomical, is to say, you know, we're turning out a high quality product here that fits the needs of the person who's going to use it, because don't build it if nobody's going to buy it.
That's right.
And don't teach it if it's not going to do any good. So
exactly.
That's great to stay on the cutting edge like that, because you do have a reputation. Because I'm employable, I know if I come to school here, I'm going to get skills that's going to get me a job out there. And that's the whole reason you're doing it. You're putting your life kind of on hold a little bit, if you want, because you got to retool yourself, especially if you're a little older. But it's certainly worth the investment. You can sit at 5 more years of doing nothing, or you can get in gear and finish a degree. It's okay, now I have some skills that are really employable, and I can take care of my family and myself and stuff. Well, you know, another question that comes up sometimes is eligibility. What if I got out of high school, just barely got out and graduated, and I had no intention of going into college, so I was going to go into the military, so I didn't take the pre-test to find out if I was eligible for college or whatever else. So now I'm 4 years down the road, and I'm kind of matured a little bit. I'm 23, and I got some sense about me, and I realize I have to go back to college. Do I have to do some re-entrance test, or is there something I need to do, or to be eligible to get into the college? What does that take for me?
Sure. To get started at Baker, we'd like you to have your high school diploma or GED, and what we are is we are a right to try college with minimum entrance requirements. What that means is, as long as you have your high school diploma or GED, we'd like you then to verify with us by taking something called Compass, which verifies your math, reading, and English ability. Those are what we call minimum entrance requirements, because we know anyone coming to college, their chances of success, which is what we're all about, is greatly enhanced if their reading level is at a certain level, their ability to do some basic math and basic English. needs to be at a certain level, and those are the basic skills we'll build on with all the career training that we're going to do as they get here. So, do we require ACT? We do not. Do we require a grade point at high school at a certain grade level to get into Baker? We do not. So that's what's meant by right to try. By virtue of having a GED or high school diploma, you have a right to try, as long as you can establish with us that you have an ability to read and understand what you're reading, and some basic math and basic English that, again, are the building blocks that we need to make you successful here. And maybe Christy will tell you a little bit about Compass. That is something we use. So.
Well, you know, in military, in the olden days, you could drop out of high school at 16 or 17 years old, kind of like about their age. Parents could sign for it. You can go right into the military, and they would take you.
Yes.
But now the military is so high tech. I mean, you know, with the drones and every piece of equipment is so high tech now that, and we talked about the reading grade level is probably 11 plus for the courses and stuff. And so you really have to make sure you have those basic math skills, basic English skills. And so I know you can come in the military, they'll test you, and they'll get you down to a particular base, and they'll do just what you were talking about. Say, okay, you're not going to make it through this course, this tech school, so we're not going to roll you in here and have you wash out. So, but you're going to go over here and get those skills brought up to where you need. You're a little weak in English, you're a little weak in math, or whatever it happens to be. And all you're doing is guaranteeing or encouraging or making the probability that you are going to pass, not wash out halfway through, and then everybody loses out of the deal. So that's great. That's the same kind of a concept. I think everybody in the military has to come out with at least a GED. Most of them have to be a high school graduate before you even get into the military. So, but that's great that you can get those particular skills back up, and so you're not prone to fail. So.
And that is one of the reasons why we do the Compass testing. And I always, when I proctor the test, I always hate to say it's a test, because you think of, oh, test, oh my gosh, I'm going to ace it, or oh my gosh, I'm going to flunk it. But no, Compass is really for placement purposes, to make sure we get you into the right class. Sometimes people will come and they need a little bit of brush up before they hit the English 101s or the math, the intro to algebras, things like that. And so that's why we do that, just to make sure that you are in the right class for you. So, and like you've said before, we want you to succeed. We don't want to put roadblocks in your way. We don't want to see anybody fail. That's not what we do at all. We want you to succeed. So we want to make sure that you get some help if you need help, or perhaps even a lot of people can even test out of English 101 and go right into 102. So that's why we think that the Compass test is a really good indicator of how well you're going to do, and if you need anything else before you hit the college level.
Well, that's great. And not only veterans, just as anybody, if you're watching this and sitting home thinking, I'd like to try this, but I'm a little afraid. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. You're going to enjoy it when you get in that setting. Start out with one class. Just take one class and come and feel comfortable with it. And the next thing you know, you'll be anxious that semester to get done, so the next semester you can take a couple of classes because you're enjoying it so much. But don't ever be afraid. Don't ever be intimidated. They're just normal people. They're not going to bite your head off. They're only here to make sure that you are a success. Because if you don't succeed, then they haven't succeeded. And these are succeeding people. They're proven at doing that. So don't be afraid to come on down and get your feet wet.
Right, and don't ever think that, like you had said before, Dave, that there's a dumb question, because there really isn't. I totally enjoy seeing people who come in, and more often than not, I'm sorry, I'm gonna, I'm taking your time, but that's what I'm here for. That's what we're all here for, is to make sure that you succeed, that you get the answers to your questions, because the only dumb question is the one that isn't answered.
You never asked it, yeah.
And I would add too that a lot of folks don't take that first step that eventually, if they eventually do, that what held them back is they didn't know what they wanted to go into. I hear that so often. I didn't get started because I didn't know what I wanted to do. If that's you, you got to come talk to us, because we need to help you with that. We can identify some areas. We wanted to give you that free career counseling. We're going to find the answer for you so you can get started. So if that's holding you back at all, that you don't know exactly what you want to do, you've got to come see any one of us, because we really want to sit down and talk to you.
It's not an excuse.
That's right.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.